Hello, my name is Chris and I'm a U-Haul hitch professional. Installing a hitch on your Cadillac ATS can lead to some amazing adventures, such as biking, camping, or road trips to your favorite destination. You can even tow a U-Haul trailer just about anywhere in North America. Now let's take a look at how I completed this install. You will need the following tools or supplies to complete this installation. Begin this installation by removing 14 fasteners from the fascia in order to give us access. We're going to use a 7mm socket, and if you use a power tool, make sure it is in a low setting so it doesn't strip out the J-nuts behind these fasteners. Remove 2 more 8mm fasteners behind the exhaust. In the shield, there is one on either side. It may be easier to do them now before we lower the exhaust covering this fastener. Next up, we're going to lower the exhaust. These first 2 hangers are on bolts and are a little tricky to get. The 2 behind it are more traditional and easier. First off, though, let's support it with a strap. You can now remove either 1 or, if present, 2 more rubber isolators. If you have them, use exhaust hanger pliers. Use soapy water to assist with stuck-on rubber isolators. Be sure to support the exhaust with your offhand so it does not fall on you. If you do not have exhaust hanger pliers, a long flathead screwdriver will do the trick. Always make sure you are finding leverage on something that can handle it, unlike a plastic part. Now remove the bracket from the exhaust hanger using a 15mm tool. If you use a socket, it will need to be deep well because of the length of the stud, or you can use an open-ended or ratcheting wrench. Now slide the exhaust bracket off the studs. Now repeat for the other side. You need to lower the exhaust enough to get access to the heat shield and remove it. So we're going to continue lowering the exhaust with the pegs past the fascia. So let's put a little slack in our strap, and then we can gently pull on the fascia as to get the exhaust a little bit lower. We now have a little access to get the heat shield out. Our directions do specifically call out a support strap in the middle of the vehicle that may need to be lowered. I do not see that necessity, but let me point out that strap in case you do not feel you're getting enough access for this heat shield. If you need to, the support strap can be found here. There are 4 fasteners and they loosen with a 13mm socket. We can now remove 8 fasteners from the heat shield using a 10mm socket. This fastener in the frame rail will not be retained as we are going to cut this stud off. 3 will be on either side of the vehicle. And 2 will be in the center. We're now ready to pull the heat shield out from the vehicle. It will be hanging slightly on the studs. We're gonna have to pull it down. But first, the flaps we're about to remove, we're gonna fold in so we can pull them out. We're now ready to trim the heat shield to allow the hitch to fit in position. You will note your directions. Call for a cut here. However, I feel cutting here will still give us a little protection, but will not create any rattling in the future. Use your cutting tool of choice to make this cut. Use tape if you feel you need a straight edge. If you own a grinder, this will be faster and easier for you. We can now return the heat shield to the vehicle. For safety purposes, let's go ahead and snip off the sharp corners. If you use the grinder, use something to smooth that out just a little bit. However, we still need to be safe. These edges are sharp, and we do not want to put any scratches in the vehicle fascia. Now return 6 of the 8 fasteners to the heat shield. We now need to remove the 2 studs on the frame rails that held on the heat shield. Your small angle grinder is always the best choice in this situation. However, if you do not have one, you have some other options. You can gain access with a battery operated grinder. Do notice that you will want a cutting disc, and you will want it to be slightly used, as a full-size cutting disc on this tool may not fit. Be sure to apply rust prevention to the stud and or any scratches you may inadvertently put with the grinder. You can use paint, however, I prefer a zinc galvanizing compound. Hitch Pros, you can order this in your EPC from the number on the screen. Now repeat for the other side. We're now ready to make a slight trim to the vehicle fascia. We will start at 1 3/8 inches wide. However, we will use the blue masking tape as a straight edge and keep it parallel to the hitch frame at 9 inches back. We are roughly 1/4 to 3/8 inch deep is all we will need. The hitch bracket will only take up this space. To make the fascia cut, an air saw is always preferred, but the theme of the day, let's use the tool you may have at home. Now repeat for the other side. You are now ready to fish wire hardware into the vehicle frame. At the rear of the vehicle, the large elongated hole will be your access location. The next small 1/2 inch hole is your first mounting location. Further down the frame, the larger access location will not be used, and that smaller 1/2 inch hole forward of it is your second mounting location. Pro tip is to pre-bend your fish wire to the length you need it. Pass the coiled end into the forward mounting location, and your bend helps it get exactly to your access location. You will now place a spacer over the coiled end and coil on the carriage bolt. Now pull the carriage bolt into position. Now repeat these steps for the opposite frame. You are now ready to raise the hitch into position. I will be using this U-Haul exclusive hitch jack. If you do not have one, I would recommend getting a second set of hands. We need to place the hitch brackets over the exhaust studs. Now the exhaust studs must go back underneath the fascia before you can fully raise the hitch into position. Now pass the end of your fish wire through the mounting location on the hitch, so we still have access to grab this hardware in case we push it back into the frame. You can now apply the flange nuts to each bolt. The rearmost bolts on each side of the vehicle are likely going to need a swivel socket. It is a 19mm, and we're going to go ahead and use the extension to help thread this into position before applying tool and torque. We are now ready to tighten and torque the hardware to the manufacturer's specifications. I will link them in the description below. We're going to continue using the 19mm socket for a swivel for the rearmost bolts, but we'll switch to a regular socket for the forwardmost. You can now return the rear exhaust hanging brackets. Replace the 3 or 4 previously lowered isolators before doing the remaining exhaust bracket, as that may take the play out that you will need to replace these other ones. You can remove the strap before finishing the final exhaust bracket. You can now begin replacing the 7mm fasteners. Note that because we've trimmed the heat shield, this one will not return, this one will not return, as well this one will not return, leaving you 6 additional hardware you can give to the customer. Our innermost fastener will install with our power tool or a socket. This outermost 7mm fastener can be a little tricky. Push up on the bracket to get your tool into position. Now that our hitch is installed, we've pulled the vehicle onto level ground to show you some important measurements. This is an 1.25" receiver. The pinhole to the end of the bumper is 3.5 inches. From the ground to the top of the inside of the receiver is 9 inches. These measurements will help you determine the necessary rise of your hitch accessories, like a ball mount, bike rack, or cargo carrier. If you have any questions about the products seen in this video, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with your local U-Haul hitch professional, please visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. You can also download the U-Haul app using the link in the description for even more ways to manage your hitch and towing needs.